Some people, I think it's maybe a generational thing, is like some of the youngers I work with, they're like, if it doesn't work straight away, they're just kind of like almost embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
So, like public perception is like instant, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, this Insta reel didn't work, so the song's a failure or whatever. And it's like, sometimes you've got to hammer it home. You know Frisco's son, The First?
Yeah, First is crazy.
Hard, right? His tune, his latest one, the amount of reels he's done for it is incredible. Like, it's made me love the tune.
He's pushing that song so much. I think he done a launch party the other day. Massive turnout.
Yeah.
The way Frisco supports his son as well, absolutely incredible. For me, that's the way you're meant to do something. That's how it was done back in the day when I was growing up. There was enough time for you to appreciate the song, and there was no rush for it to be whatever it needed to be in a short space of time. So I'm glad he's done it the way he's done it, and I wish him the best of success with it, because that's how you should make music.
Well, it's inspired me that, just because I'm probably guilty sometimes of not just of music, but just anything that's made, to be like, right, if it doesn't work within the first 3 days, it's not going to happen. But
why?
Because I think that's just the conditioning of what's been happening with fast flow media. So I'm not saying like, oh, it's like me alone, but I just feel like the world moves so fast.
100.
Like everyone's like, oh, but then sometimes I go, see someone like him, for example, it's like still like, I love that song and I liked it at the start, but now I proper love it.
Good.
It's almost like he's used his own radio station to keep showing it me.
Do you know, it's like, I guess there's multiple ways to work within the two different ways to work. There's cultural work and there's commercial work. And commercial work speaks to everybody, or attempts to. And culture is just more concerned with whatever group it's speaking to. So that's, and I love that within the culture of football. Obviously it's changed a hell of a lot now, so I'm not too happy. But back in the day, the culture of football was what the culture of football was. And if you didn't understand, you had to embody yourself and within it, to get an understanding of why things operate the way they do. When you commercialize something, the entry point is too much different people that have no understanding of your walk of life. So therefore, you have to appease too many people.
Yeah.
So I always advise people, make work, especially when you're doing it independently, at a pace that makes sense to your lifestyle and the group of people you're speaking to. Do not try and do commercial work at the start. There is no one giving you enough money for you to do that. There's no gun to your head. Like, you're not at that point in your career. You're at the point where you can flex, experiment, do what you want. Take the time for people to understand it, because you're still learning to understand it. Don't try and be the BBC or ITV or all of these guys. Like, they got like a company of God knows how much people work in there. So definitely take your time. I say that to people all the time.
I think it's like, let's just talk about audio as like a file, yeah? So like my job traditionally, particularly in the last 5-10 years, has just been audio mainly. Don't really play out. This is a new venture, so it's just music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like a lot of the stuff I've been doing is like either because I love it and I think it's brilliant and they're brilliant, or I'm outsourced by a corporation to make something kind of, to an extent, a bit of like, just to, what's the word, not script. Like, they want something out of this room.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I go into that lane a bit.
100%.
But what I've always found with that, I mean, I know you do multiple things, but like the corporate side of the stuff, it's like they'll try and appeal to everyone by editing the audio, whether it's like drum sounds, like additional production, feature. But then by the time you got to the finishing line, you've lost the people who would like it in the first place, and it lands on no one.
Yeah. But look, there's good and bad to everything. I think commercial is incredible. We need it. It allows you to get your product to a bigger audience. It allows you to make more money. There are so much benefits to that. But what people do is rush the process in getting there. So like, no one goes to school in year 7 and then the next year they're in year 11 doing their GCSEs. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So you should apply the same amount of time people apply in school, by bare minimum, with your product. At least give it like 5 years. And then after 5 years, the information you have means when you marriage yourself with a commercial audience, it will make more sense. Anything before then, I think you end up only lasting 5 years. So if you go to a commercial market really, really quickly without going the full extent of your company, I think you last about 5 years. If you give it 4 or 5 years before you go to a commercial entity, you are here forever.
Yes,
and I think the examples of that are like Nines, and the examples of that are like Gigs, and the example, those to me musically, sonically, are examples. And I think a lot of the rappers that have a huge trajectory over a short space of time, it's just they wanker themselves out, man.
Well, it's just a lot of the time it's just like that, and it's because there's no like pre-experience, and that's not their fault. It's just like the system behind them is telling them and encouraging them to go quick.
It's their fault, 100%. They should take responsibility. It's your fault. It's your fault. If you won, you're not going to say it's their fault. You're going to say it's my fault.
Yeah.
So if you lose, it's also your fault.
Yeah, facts.
All of it is your fault, because it all comes from you. Pause.
So Who have you like really like enjoyed seeing kind of make a slow climb in the new wave? I've mentioned Frisco's son. I just think it's brilliant what he's doing. Who else do you rate right now that's like from the new wave of artists? Because obviously the Giggs and the Nines and them, they're like
the old school ones, innit?
Well, they're just like so certified in a period of long time. I consider them, you know.
Forgive me, I'm old, everybody. Do forgive me. So I'm gonna we won't get into that.
No more,
you never
bro.
ask a Jamaican woman her age, and I was raised by one, so I don't know where my dad's about. Actually, he's passed away now. Shout him out. He's with Bob Marley and that. But yeah, I'm just old. I think it's DC Free Media. I've been following him for a while just because of his alternative approach on rap and just like the soul thing where they'll take a picture or there'll be an incident happening, they'll do a freeze frame of it and then he'll just start rapping. And it's Christian rap and I think it's a different approach. So I was very much intrigued by that. Maybe not invested to the point where it's the type of music I would go out and listen to myself, but it was such an interesting, unique journey. And he's done a Colours recently. I saw him, feature some stuff with Wretch. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He just seems incredible. But it's difficult apart from that, That's not even a disrespect to anybody because there's no one genre for me that is doing what it should be doing right now.
Right.
And when the genres are doing what they need to be doing, that's when you can see much more talent. Because I'm very meticulous. I like particular types of things.
Right.
So there are good examples of music coming from the genres, but the genres don't trust themselves.
Right.
The genres they just consistently want money or they want cosigns. They don't look what they have and go, yo, look what we've got. That's what I feel about the genres. They're always looking for other things, and it just means like looking at real talent for me is very difficult because I don't feel like I'm looking at a group of people that love themselves. I'm looking at a group of people that want something from this, and I'm just like, nah, you're meant to want something from yourself. It's not the other way around. So yeah, just that marriage with being old and not being around it as consistently as I would want to be just means that, looking at it, it's quite difficult to see, man.
It's mad, there's a lot, but also like playlist culture and stuff like that. You can't underestimate that,
Yeah.
Because like, like if you're like a rapper, let's say like a British rapper, and your sound is like veering into another sonic space, they might not put you in that playlist of UK rap, but they're not going to put you in the playlist of like rave or whatever. So you sit in between places. And American radio's been like this for years. There's like country, rap, pop, whatever. And playlist culture kind of like, in a way, encourage people to stay within like sort of like two little goalposts, like stylistically.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like that will eventually affect people's mindset in terms of like what is coming out the other end. What is this? Like for me personally, and I'm sure it's similar to you, the things that make me most like excited is like things where they're just completely new and they don't sound like any genre. Like let's talk about when grime kicked off. What the fuck was that?
That was ridiculous,
it was
man.
Like just the best thing ever, but it wasn't anything.
Because it has elements of other things that you love, but it's fresh and new. So then you become interested in the journey. So grime is something that man loved, and I felt like the pace of it and just everything in and around it, because it's not just music. It's not just like 140 BPM. It's not just what you hear sonically. It's the way people dress. It's the way they talk. It's the way you interact. It's a culture. It's not epitomized by a fucking sound. Like that really frustrates me from people when they go, I'm doing so much for the culture. You released a song. Like if you look up the definition of culture, they're not going to say releasing a song. Like that's not culture. So the culture of grime was very important. It's just that it didn't last for long.
Yeah, the initial.
It didn't last for long enough, man, because they were unable to control it. And that's the issue. Once you have no element of control, you're not going to have it. Going back to playlists and the way we consume music, it's completely affected it for someone like myself. I'm used to listening to an album, having an understanding of that person, and then selecting the songs that I like and then moving forward. Now I'm being told what songs I should be listening to. That's not the way I would like to consume music. And that means now the people making it, in order for them to be on the other end of making a lot of money, they have to tailor make their music and think about getting on a playlist. That changes the way in which you make music completely. You might not even get on the playlist, and these times you're making music to get on something that you might not even get. And you don't even really want to be there. You just want your music to be heard. So imagine really working hard for something you don't even fucking want. Like that doesn't even make sense. And in a space where you're meant to be creatively and free, that shouldn't be restrictions that you have. And if that continues, all the genres that we love, they're gonna die out, bro. Like, because it's even making the entry point easier for them. If your culture says this is the rules in order for you to do this type of thing, and then you compromise it in order for you to be over here in this space commercially, it only really benefits the commercial space.
Oh, big time.
It benefits you financially, but then it benefits them more long term because they get your audience. They get so much. You're never really going to get their audience because of how unique you are. So yeah, man, people just got to, I guess, stand on what they are. Shout out JME and Gets as well most recently, just trying to find unique ways of finding people that actually appreciate the music and want to listen to it properly, not just...
It's so true, and it's like, because the thing is with like music or any art, I guess a lot of it is to like create, and then a lot of people, and it's different for everyone, you know.
Yeah, 100.
They want their thing amplified as big as it can be.
Yeah.
Or like, and some people they'll do whatever it needs to be that amplified.
Yeah.
Right. And some people are like, this is what it is, this is what it isn't, and it's right. It's like the like audiences or cultures that are birthed at like art that's birthed out of different cultures.
Yeah.
That then get took into like a system.
Yeah.
And it gets taken out of it. There's like, this is my criticism with a lot of the way the music industry is split up. Is like, you might take from a culture, whatever culture that is, but it's a one-way transaction more time.
100.
So like, I don't know, the labels or the brands or whatever, they get it, and then, but it's not really leaking back into the community or the culture. It might go back to a few individuals, but the overall kind of like thing is just gone and it's off.
100%.
And I think like, because things move so quick now, something's hot or trendy online, they can just get it quicker. And it's like, that is kind of takes harder to create like a new version of grime or something.
And what I don't like about, and what's, for example, and I'm not saying the people I'm going to name are terrible people. These are just the real life effects of the things you could possibly choose and how it affects culture and how it benefits you. So for example, if Drake, for example, went to Jamaica and highlighted one of the worst behaving Jamaican artists that made great music, that's fantastic for dancehall culture.
Yeah.
But if that individual is responsible for shooting up my brothers, that means he makes more money, and then the streets of Jamaica are dangerous.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from the opportunity given and how good it is and so on and so forth. But what I'm saying that some of these corporations do is they find their way in these situations and they're benefiting the situation for them, but they're not thinking about all of the detrimental effects that after the music's turned off and we switch off the TV, just the day-to-day practice, they're not doing anything to safeguard that. So all you're making is that area worse.
Yeah, totally.
I understand where you are, you can party, you can dance and so on and so forth and woo, but you're putting a price tag on what's happening in that country and saying, well, for 1.1 million, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? Shirley still might lose her son. Auntie Betty out there now, she can't even go to the shop to go and woo. So I'm just saying, cuz, and that's the reasons why I don't like this whole culture is music. It's not. It's a part of music, and it actually is probably the smallest part. It is the biggest part. It's the biggest entry point, but it will be the smallest part. There are other things that happen before you even hear the music. So that's my biggest problem with this situation of.
For me, it was when it became really evident was when the British rap thing became really like lucrative, because obviously like from watching you on GRM or Channel U, like, no one was making money. You're mad.
Not really, man.
Like not like this. And then when it entered this kind of like super like mainstream space, like 018, 19, one of the very good things I think about it that we all loved was it was coming out of people that were actually that live.
Yeah, 100%.
They were just spitting and it was charting.
100%.
Fredo, Storms, Huss, Dave, etc. Like, and it was just charting.
100%.
And it was amazing. But then obviously anything that is lucrative for the corporations, they're on it, right? And I'd only ever seen that happen, American rap. Dancehall really took.
Come on.
But not like over the road.
Nah.
Or not up the road. Not for like the money.
Not for us, bro.
No. So it was going up there, and it felt right weird to me because like the people that were signing the checks and like you say turning off the telly when it got uncomfortable were nowhere from even near those communities.
No, and what they're doing is, if you take a look at it as like for what it is, like just objectively, it's like if culture's made up of various different things, this will make you not value the other things in culture just because they've put a price on this, and the price they've put is so high and it's so expensive, you will sacrifice all your morals over there just to pick up that check. And I'm like, but then what about the culture that you're going to end up killing the culture? If you come an example of the culture, if there's 8 elements to it and you epitomize one because you're getting financial gain, you're going to kill the other 7. That means all the opportunities for them other individuals, they're no longer going to be there. And that's kind of what happened with grime. Like, you get certain people, I'm not saying don't do your commercial hit, but Wiley will tell you that he wants to see a light-skinned gal on the road and do a tunnel vision. So both parties are catered to. And I think that's so important, where some people just go, well, I've made this money now, you don't know where I've come from, woo. And it's like, no, we do know where you come from. We listened to all your mixtapes, we supported it, we've done this, we've done that, and now you're just going to isolate yourself and go over there and just... It's never made sense, you know, I'm coming from.
I hear it. On the flip, I've been in rooms, making music with loads of people, and a lot of the time, not so much now, because I kind of press eject on that world, they'll pick whoever's successful in their field at one time. So they'll have the writer that's made that tune, the rapper, producer. At the time, I'd had a few big tunes and I was in here. And majority of the people in the room in those sessions, not so much the artists, weren't from the world they were trying to appropriate, right? So even myself, I'm from Sheffield, whatever, I'm not from this place where the rapper is or whatever. But one of the things that always still stays with me today is that one of the individuals who set up the camp kept talking about culture, but he couldn't be less cultural. He's private educated and that, right? Which is a culture within itself, but not the culture that we're talking about. And I just couldn't get my head around it at the time, because this was 2019. I was like, why does he keep cracking on about culture? Because if it's a culture, then, and we're trying to reference it or be it, then we're not the culture and we shouldn't be doing this. But also, why is he bothered? And then the penny dropped later down the line. It's culture is value to a commercial vision. Course. But it might not be it might not be obvious, but for that room to work, he needed culture in it to make the song relevant, which I just thought was fascinating that he'd calculated that. Because someone like yourself or Wiley, who is the culture, doesn't have to think about it. They just leave their house and do it.
The thing is, that's why sometimes, not all the time, but I do like making people, even that I love, feel uncomfortable, because I get to find out exactly who you are. And feel free to do the same thing to me if we're having a conversation about something that doesn't make sense. So I've gone to do various different things with brands, and then I'll have an individual that's very well spoken and there's nothing wrong with being well spoken.
No, not at all.
I'm all right. I'm not bad myself. But very well spoken, privileged lifestyle, mummy and dad there, never seen a pissy flat in their life. And they tell me about culture. And I just say, you might as well just say, can we get a black rapper who talks about things within working class environments? Be very specific so you can highlight where he's come from, so you can credit him for his journey, rather than just using this term culture, which means it makes the situation confusing. You now feel like you have the ability to say you have influenced the situation. I'm telling you, you see that same lady who can't pay for their nappies for her son because the dad just doesn't want to stick around because he's an aspiring rapper. Your ability to give this guy a check has done absolutely nothing for that child. He's still pissing in his shitty nappy and his mum still doesn't give a fuck. So what are we talking about here? Just shut up. Just go and thank you for this Levi's campaign. Well done you. Woo! Give us the fucking money. So tell us what to do with it. And you go back to wherever you're from, because I know for one thing, I'm not allowed to tell you take your flag down. So let's just make it fair and woo.